All right, we're going to get started, as you probably heard, this one's going to be recorded, so we're recording right now. I please ask that you put your phones on mute so that those don't interrupt us while we're doing this. And also, I'm going to leave some space open for some questions in the middle, as well at the end. So try to keep your questions to a minimum or write them down. I'll answer those for you as we go through this. So we're going to go ahead and start off on this homepage. There's a couple things I want to bring to your attention. The update here for this week, if you notice, has everything to do with opportunities and commissions. One of the things here, you can now change your responses for those offers that you were put in that maybe that's changed. You can also now update the close dates. So there's a couple of things that has to do with commissions that I do suggest you take a look at when you come in there. Underneath product updates, it'll list the stuff that's going on and what is in there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to hop into opportunities. If you don't know what opportunities is, that's going to be the ones that's going to do the shaking hands, the two hands. Once you click on it, it's going to take you to your pipeline view, which if y'all were in class yesterday, this should look very familiar since we spent about an hour staring at this. Does everybody have a sample either person or an opportunity inside of their pipeline? So if you don't, we're going to go ahead and add one in there. If you do, this is just for you to follow along with. So I'm going to click on create an opportunity. And I'm going to go ahead and use myself as an example as I've been doing. So I'm going to put my name here. And I'm going to go ahead and fill everything out that needs to be in here. So once you could go ahead and create that opportunity, you're going to have that detail section here. So the two that we're going to be focusing on today is obviously the details and offers and commissions. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the document section. Now, as we click on this, does everyone have at least one of the e-signature programs connected, whether it be .loop or DocuSign? Does anybody have that connected? Yes. You don't have any of them connected? I don't think so. So the only way you can find out is if you go to your name and click on settings. And if you have one of them connected, they should be at the top. So on mine, DocuSign is at the top, and so is .loop. So if it's shown at the top and it shows connected, so you're good to go. So we're go ahead and hop back into opportunities. So if we need to get back to the opportunity, I know that was a buyer. I know that they were under the cultivate. So I'm going to click on the cultivate here to take me into that opportunity and click on the name that is there. There we go. As I said, we're going to be focused on the documents and offers and commissions section. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to click on documents. So once you come into documents, the one thing that you're going to notice that is completely blank. Don't freak out. We're going to go ahead and put that checklist in there. So those checklists that you see inside .loop that you follow along, or for those of you in PC that have the sheet that tells you what documents you need for compliance, it's actually built into command. So on the left side, if you see where it says pick checklist type, you can click on it. And as of right now, we do have residential. This is for a listing. We will be seeing the commercial and stuff like that come in here in a later date. They are finalizing those lists to make sure they are compliant. So we will get those at a later date. So once you click on residential, it's going to load in all of these documents. Now, I've told a lot of people to make this easier for you. You want to click on requirement right here in the middle. And what this is going to do is bring all the required documents up to the top. So now all of your required documents for compliance are going to be at the top. Then it's going to follow by conditional, and then it's going to follow by optional. So those are all the sections you have. I want to go ahead and point out as well that this is your first time looking at this. These are not inside of your command as of right now. These are just placeholders. The best way to describe this is a digital filing cabinet. So imagine each one of these lines as a folder where you would put that document in. So that's how we're breaking this down. I do get questions as well. y'all have the whole offer as one file. Unfortunately, that is not being accepted. You need to break it down. It needs to be into these sections of how it's broke down to make sure it meets compliance. Do you understand, everybody? Good. So I'm going to show you how to get this started inside of either signature program you have. So you see that I have a button on the right-hand side that says start a transaction. Everybody see that on their screen? So depending on what you have connected, may do a couple of different things. If you only have one of them, if you only have .loop or DocuSign, it's going to go ahead and open up that specific one. If you have both of them connected like I do, you can choose which one you want to do. Now I want to go ahead and pause for a second because I know people are already probably thinking about asking this question. You are not required to use DocuSign. If you so choose to keep using .loop, you can. The intent is obviously there's a strong encouragement for you to use DocuSign because of who owns it and your privacy with your clients. But you can absolutely use either one of them. So in this case, I'm going to use .loop just for the ease of purposes to show you how this works. It's very similar with the DocuSign. It's just on the DocuSign platform. So I'm going to click on .loop. Now, once I click on .loop, you're going to notice a couple of things are going to happen. I'm going to have this window that pops up that I can choose what templates I want. For those of you like myself, I already have templates already inside of .loop. You can use your own, or you can use these system ones. Now, I will tell you, these system ones do kind of mirror what's going on in the document part there. But if you want to use your own, don't select either one of them and just click on choose .loop type, and it's going to open up an empty .loop. That makes sense, everybody? So just for this purpose, I'm going to click on buyer so I can give you an idea what this looks like. So I'm going to click on buyer, and I'm going to click on choose .loop template. What this is going to do is on the right-hand side, you'll notice now it's spinning. It's going to come up with sync transaction and go to transaction. Everybody see that on the right-hand side? So where it said start a transaction, we now have sync transaction and go to transaction. I'm going to go ahead and explain this sync transaction because I get a lot of questions about it. The intent of this button is if for some reason something changes on the command side as far as information, who is inside of this opportunity, anything like that changes, you can change it on this side, hit sync, and it will sync with whatever e-signature program you have. So one of my mess ups is I always try to put both spouses on there, even though only one of them is on the pre-approval. And I always mess up by putting both on there. I can actually remove who's ever not on the pre-approval and hit sync, and it will remove them from .loop or DocuSign. So it'll be able to be exactly what's going on in command is going on in .loop or DocuSign. Make sense to everybody? So that includes the phone numbers, emails, anything like that. Anything that's changed on that side, it will update to that to reflect inside of .loop or DocuSign. So if you do, I want to bring this up too, if you do have a pop-up blocker on there as well, it will prevent this from opening up another tab because it considers it a pop-up even though it's a tab. If yours does that, it's no big deal. All you need to do is click on go to transaction. And what that's going to do is open up whatever the program you're in. So I'm inside of .loop. It took me to .loop. I'm going to sign in. And now you can see in .loop has made a loop specific for that listing. So it's named what the opportunity is, and it has all the documents that is needed for this transaction. Everybody see that? Now, once you're in here, this works just like you're doing .loop right now. So if you're using .loop and you're filling all your documents out, sending them out, getting them signed, upload documents, it's going to work just the way it is. Make sense to everybody? I want to stop here for a second to make sure that everybody understands the importance of opening up these rooms and loops through command. If you don't, you're going to have a lot of downloading and dragging and dropping to make sure you get them into command. The point of this, and I'm going to show you how easy this becomes, is this becomes a couple of clicks to be able to upload those documents for compliance. Like I said, if you open up the loop first and try to come to command and connect them, as of right now, it does not connect. And just for reference, I don't see it ever doing that because there's no way to tell .loop to communicate with command, but we can tell command to communicate with .loop. Does that make sense? Because we own command. So make sure that you're using the opportunities and you're opening up the rooms and loops through that and making sure they're connected. Because anything that is in that loop or DocuSign room can be pulled into command with literally a couple of clicks. So let's say some of these documents are ready to be uploaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to command and I'm going to be at this document section, right? So let's say that I have this listing agreement signed and ready to go. So I can click on, actually I'm going to do the informational broker services. So I'm going to click on add a file. You'll see it's going to open up a window. It's going to give you a couple of options. This is your first sign to know if you have them connected or not. Does anybody know what it is? That's right, right here in the middle, you have .loop. If you opened it with DocuSign, it would say DocuSign. So if you come in here and you've hit add a file and it's not showing either one of them, that means your stuff is not connected to command. So you will have the option, yes ma'am. Anywhere. No, we're in command right now.
I'm in command. Doesn't have to be hooked up to .loop.
You do. I'll come help you. So you'll see that we have three options now. So we have manual, which is the lovely download, drag and drop. There's the .loop, which is your couple of clicks option. And then there's custom folders. What this custom folders is, I can give you some more information about what this is. So right here on the left side, let me make sure you can see that. On the left side over here, do you see where it says custom folders right here on the left side? So you can actually upload documents into a folder over there and have them over there. So for those of you that accidentally open up the loop or room first, you can download the documents and put them in a folder right here as you get them. And then when it comes time for compliance, you can actually select from that folder to upload them into command. That's what that is. So whenever you click on, I'm not doing, no, we're going over compliance and commissions. So when you click on that add a file, you're going to have those three options. So you have the manual, .loop, and the custom folders. So if I click on .loop right now, it's going to reflect whatever is in that loop. So you see that it's going to go ahead and bring me a list of all the stuff that is in that loop that was opened. Everybody see that? So I look for that information about broker services. I go and click on that bubble on the left-hand side and I click assign. Now, once I hit assign, you'll see that it's going to put it in its spot right here. Everybody see that? So once it's in here, this is all you need to do. Now I want to go ahead and pause because I want some clarification or give some clarification about the 72-hour comment that we've made in previous classes. As you're getting these documents signed, I would highly advise you to go ahead and start uploading them in there. Now you don't have to submit them for compliance, but make sure they're already in there. They're saying now, for example, I'm in the listed folder here. The moment that the last required document, now when I say required, I'm not meaning the tag, I'm talking about required for the transaction. So if there's a conditional requirement or additional document that you're waiting for, that's considered a required document. So once that last required document for that folder is received, you're submitting that folder for compliance. So just like in .loop before, when we had to submit the listing and the contract folders separately to make sure they passed, it's the same type of thing here inside of command. Now, once you start getting things back, I'm going to go back to one of my previous buyers loops so you can, opportunities, so I can give you an idea of what these look like when they start coming back. So I'm going to click on this client here. I'm going to click on documents. Now, if you notice, the first thing you're going to notice is that I have the under contract that says approved right there. Does everybody see that on the left-hand side? So if I come in here and click on this, I can see that all my stuff has been approved. So when you start seeing this lovely green and red, this is when you know everything is being either approved or denied. Now, if anything gets denied, you'll see something very similar to this icon right here on mine. What this is is she's going to tell you what is wrong with those documents. So right here, this is the chat box that we had in Dotloop when you used to be able to chat back and forth with Marilyn. This is the same thing. You can chat with her, ask her questions, anything that has to do with it, you can ask her right here. Also, that logo will pop up next to these document names if something comes back about them. It'll be a little red icon. You can click on it. Now they don't disappear. So everybody cheer, because when you click on it, it will tell you what's wrong. So it'll tell you exactly what paragraph needs to be changed. If there's missing a signature, she'll tell you whatever is wrong in it. Now, the other way you can look at it too is if you click on the file name and you click on document review, it'll also tell you what's wrong is there. So anytime something's wrong with that document, she'll tell you in that section. Once you get everything in there, once you get that last required document, and like I said, you want to hit submit. Over here on the right, it'll say submit to MC. As of right now, it's about 24 to 48 hours. If it's anything longer than that, Marilyn's email is across the hall on the board. Shoot her an email with the opportunity name and see what's going on with it. Now, I'm not saying that you submitted it today, you didn't get it back this evening, email her. Wait a couple of days, because remember, there's about 400 agents in this office, and we're all trying to do the same thing. So make sure we keep that in consideration. With all that being said, for the documents section, does anybody have any quick questions before we go to the commissions part? Yes, ma'am. So, good question. So she asked, how do we know exactly what documents are required for a transaction? The first easy answer is obviously the ones that say required right now, those are going to be required regardless. Now, what gets a little bit different is if you come down and you'll notice these the little sentences next to some of these, they tell you if they're required for certain transactions. So for example, there's one on here that has to do with FHA. So this is required for FHA financing. So it tells you which ones are going to be. Just like the lead-based paint, those are specific for 1978. So you would do that one for anything prior to that. So that's how you just make sure you read those little notes. They've been getting better. As you can see, there's about 7 of them on the screen right now that has little dates or little information about which ones need to be in there. Perfect, good question. So there is one on here for the amendment for a contract. Now, if you need to add any extras, you click on the add item here, and you'll be able to name what that document is. You tell the system what it is. So there is addendum, agreement, authorization, contract, disclosure, inspection, lender, and other. So those are in there if you want to add it in there. And then just like the other ones, it is tied to DocuSign and Dotloop and manual, and you can bring it in that way. So you can bring it, if it's in that loop, you're able to pull it in there with just those couple of clicks.
I had a quick question when you get a chance.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I need to kind of go back. I created my opportunity and I clicked on sync transaction, and it said your latest loop info would be imported or whatever. And I did that. So if I've already done everything in Dotloop, do I then click on go to transaction to transfer those files over, or what was that next step? I missed that part.
So the sync transaction is only for information. So anything that's changed inside of command, whether it's contact information, names, that syncs and will change inside of whatever e-signature program you're using. Now, if you're trying to bring documents in or go to your loop or room, that is what the go to transaction is. Now, there is no button in command right now that you click and it automatically fills all the spaces in. You have to go either individually, like I was showing earlier, so add a file and do it that way, or you can do the multiple at the top here, where it says attach multiple files, and do the same thing. You can do the manual Dotloop and custom folders. You can click on DocuSign, and what it's going to do is give you actually drop-down menus to be able to go through that. So that's how you do the multiple ones.
Okay.
Yeah, there, as of right now, there is no button, and that's why I wanted to bring up the sync transaction, because there were some people that thought you clicked on sync transaction and it just filled all the documents in. That's not what it is. So, like I said, for this client right here, I had his wife on there when we first started, and his wife was on the pre-approval. So what I did was I came back in here, I came back into details, I removed her from this opportunity, and then I went back and clicked sync transaction, and it removed her out of that loop. It removed her from all the documents, it removed her from all the details, everything. Anybody other questions for documents? Yes, ma'am.
So,
Mhm.
can you use the attached multiple files? Is that what you use to download all your files, or do you have to go one at a time?
Yeah, so the so you're talking about if you downloaded it inside or download the documents already, it's on your computer.
It's already, it's in document. So to get it in command to be able to go through.
Right. So her question was she accidentally opened up the dot loop first, so she has her documents inside dot loop, but it's not connected to the opportunity. As of right now, the only thing is that you have to download them and use either the attached multiple file or the attached single file. Yeah, whenever you click on it, it allows you to give you that drag and drop feature on, let me see where here. So yeah, if you click on the add multiple files, the manual here, so each one of these boxes, if I drag the document there, it'll fill it in. So that's how you would do it. Yes, yes. If you weren't here yesterday, your first check at real estate, you buy a second screen. Trust me, it's a life changer.
Okay, so for clarification,
Mhm.
the documents, if I already did a dot loop, a whole dot loop. So I need to then download those to my computer now and then use the attached multiple files link.
Yes, if that is
Okay.
only if you open the dot loop or DocuSign room first, and
Yes.
it's not connected to command.
And it is or isn't connected to command?
Isn't connected. What I mean by connected is if you go into your opportunity right now and you see a big black button that says start a transaction, that probably means that opportunity is not connected to anything. So you're going to have to download all the documents from either dot loop or DocuSign and manually upload those in there.
Joshua, I have a question. So in
Yes,
the
ma'am.
example that you gave where you had the wife on and then you went and removed and then did a sync, was that prior to or after the signatures were already received?
I did that prior to the signature, so I can't speak if she's already signed will it disappear. I can tell you that before I caught it before I sent the documents for signature, and it removed her from it. Now I don't know what that's going to do if she's already signed it. I would assume it's probably going to disappear, but that would be something I would have to look at for you, Tanya.
I was just curious. Thank you.
No problem. Yes, after they sign it or as they sign it. What I suggest a lot of people do is that the moment that they have signed any kind of document, it's signed, it's done, everybody that needs to sign it has signed it, there is no reason why you shouldn't have it in command right now. You don't have to submit it. You can just go ahead and put it in there. So you're not also rushing at the end trying to put 15, 16 documents in there and make sure they get approved. As you put them in there, just leave them in there, and then when it's that last one is in there, hit submit, and you're done. Any other questions about commissions? Compliance? I'm sorry. Surprise. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over commissions. Now, there's a couple of different things in here to keep track of and make sure that we're doing this because all of us obviously want to get paid, right? Yes. Nobody wants to get paid. I didn't sound excited at all. We like to get paid, right? Perfect. So I'm going to show you how to make sure that you get this in here. So I'm going to use this on a listing side because it makes a little bit more sense. but I will explain the difference on the buyer side and why you should also do it as well. So I'm on the listing here and I'm going to click on offers and commissions. I'm going to go ahead and answer this question now because I'm sure some of y'all are just waiting to ask this. Josh, do we need to put every offer that we receive for our listing in here? I am suggesting yes. Even if it's 5 or 6 or it's 16, 17, you want to make sure that you have a digital paper trail that your stuff was seen, it was sent to your clients, so that there's no question that that is being done. That makes sense, everybody? That's to protect you. That's all it is. As a licensed real estate agent, you sell houses and you don't get sued. That's your 2 jobs. Everybody good? So with that being said, we're coming here. My listing's been live. I'm receiving offers in. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this first offer in. So I'm gonna click on add a new offer. You can name it anything you want to. It automatically names every one of an initial offer. You're more than welcome to change it, but you can leave it there as well. I'm gonna click on create an offer, and we're gonna start filling in the information for that offer that has come in. I'm gonna stop on some of these because I get questions. I just wanna make sure everybody collectively has all the answers. So on here, it's gonna ask you for the name again. So if you wanna update the name, you can. The next one here is offer date. Please remember that offer date is the date that you have received the offer. So if you received the offer on the 14th, then you would put that the 14th was the day that you received that. That's whenever you receive it. It's not when your clients are signing it. The other one here is the close date. Obviously, that is the date that is on the offer, not the date that your clients want to close. So you're just following along on the offer that you get. Again, 2 monitors come and play where it's really easy. Next, you're gonna click on parties. Depending on what side you're on, it's gonna fill that in. So you'll see here that since I am the seller in this transaction, it's pulled the information in from my contact. So you can see that all my information as a seller is already filled in. Right below that, my amazing agent's information is also filled in as well. So you see my name and my email is there. The only thing you do need to make sure that you put in is the buyer's name and the seller's associate. I've been asked to make sure that y'all know this. It is no longer acceptable to put the words buyer and agent in those blanks. So go back, you have the contract in front of you, make sure you're putting that buyer's name or names. If it's a husband and wife, or if it's just one person, make sure that they are both in there. Same thing with the agent. Make sure you're not just putting real estate agent or agent. Make sure you're putting his name in there. Those got to be in there so they can do those CDAs correctly. Does that make sense, everybody? Perfect. So the next page is going to be all the terms. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this in quickly so that we can see the next page here. And we're going to go to terms. You'll notice something very right off the bat about this page. This is following along that first page of your contract. So it's going to ask you the cash amount, the financed amount, and the sales price. It's easier just to fill it in from left to right because it does the math for you. So for example, if I wanted to put this in on a $200,000 house, my client's putting $100,000 down and he's financing the other $100,000. It does the math for me and shows $200,000 in the sales price. Everybody see that? Right below that is earnest money. It goes both ways. You can either put the percent or the earnest amount, and it does the math for whatever the other side is. So whatever you put in, it does on both sides. The ones down below that are all optional. So those are your option fees, your termination option days, your residential service contract, and your settlement costs. Just for clarification, residential service contract, that is your home warranties. And the settlement cost is your seller contributions. So that's what those are. That's just the fancy legal names for those. You click on the next page. This is where you're going to fill in your analysis of this offer. I want to pause here and go back to what I said earlier, that our job is also not to get sued. Make sure that you're putting factual statements in these if you're breaking this down to your client. Make sure that you're putting information that is true. This is no different than the special provisions paragraph in our contract. You're putting true pros and cons inside of here. Make sense to everybody? One below that is summary. So if this includes, if they want to include the pool, if they want to include the front porch swing, they want to include the washer and dryer, you can show that in there. Hey, this offer also includes the inclusion of X, Y, and Z. So they have all that information there. Once you fill that in, you can hit save. And this is going to show you that same offer that we just put in. Everybody see that? So this puts it in an offer timeline. This is what I was talking about earlier, is that as you're receiving these offers, this keeps track of them for you. So it shows you where all of them come in and the dates they come in. Now, I'm going to quickly put in another one to show you one of the features. I noticed somebody asked this question in our group on Facebook about what is the best way for some agents presenting multiple offers to our clients. What if I told you you can do that with inside of Command? Would that be beneficial to y'all? Would that do away with the lovely Excel sheet that I know some people are using? So I'm going to go ahead and put this offer in here. Now you'll notice that these offers are both in here. What's neat is on the left-hand side, right underneath offer timeline, it says select all. Everybody see that? If I select all, it's going to choose those two offers for me. And I get this compare offers tab over here on the right-hand side. If I click on compare offers, I now have a breakdown of those offers that I can send to my client. Now, you have a couple of ways you can do that. Obviously, the more efficient one would be the email. It automatically makes the email for you. It says who the email is going to. The subject title says, hey, you have 2 new offers. And the email says, great news, we have 2 offers on your home. To get an idea of what that looks like, you're going to click on this little I, and this is exactly what they're going to get. They're going to get an email that breaks down the offers that they have. So that they have it all in one place where they can see it. Now, if you want to give them a document that they can download, you can do the same thing. If you go to the compare offers again, you can click on download, and this is going to give you a PDF page that you can download as well. So you can, if you want to attach that to the email, you can do that as well. But it gives you a couple options to send those to your client. So once they have seen that email and they've let you know which one they would like to move forward with, this is where you're going to make sure to come in and get paid, right? Everybody still wants to get paid? Yes? So when we come in, there's a couple of things that I'm going to kind of harp on just to make sure that y'all understand, because I don't want y'all waiting until the day of or day before and saying, hey, I still haven't got my CDA, what's going on? I've logged in and noticed right off the bat what happened, and I'm going to show you. So for example, my client likes this first one. I'm going to come in and click on accept. Now, once you click on accept, you'll notice that it's going to change to change response and manage commissions. Everybody see that? Now, the problem that we've seen a lot of people do is as soon as they click that, they think that their CDA has been submitted, because they look right here where it says commission status and it says open. In the system, open means that you've opened up commissions. That's all that means. That does not mean it's been sent. That does not mean it's been reviewed. It doesn't mean it's been submitted. It literally means that you have opened up the commissions tab. That's all that stands for. So if you click on that and you close everything out thinking your CD is going to be in there a couple of days, it's not. You're going to keep on waiting on it. So make sure if it says that, to watch what we do next to make sure that you get those CDAs in time. Make sense to everybody? Then next step you want to do is click on manage commissions. Now, once you click on manage commissions, this is going to take you into your commissions tab. I want to stop right here too as well. How many of y'all heard the phrase green sheets? I need you to remove the word green sheets from your vocabulary. We are no longer use green sheets. If you saw the post today in the group that I made, there is no more green sheets. So don't submit them through .loop. Don't submit for compliance through .loop. We are no longer using green sheets. This is your new green sheet, and we are calling it commissions. Good? Everybody say commissions.
Commissions.
Perfect. We're no longer using the word green sheet. So this is your commissions tab. So when you come in here, this is where you're going to finalize and make sure everything is done. I also want to go ahead and point out there is stuff that we are still changing on the tech side to make this a little more easier and it's more customizable for our team. So if that's a question that you have, we are working on it, and we are just waiting for those stuff to roll out from KWRI. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this down real quick. It's broken down into 3 sections. We got general information, we got payments, and we got summary. So we're gonna start right there at the general information. So we're gonna click on the edit general information. And what this is gonna do is show you the sales price. It's gonna show you what your commission rate is. It's gonna show you what that commission rate is based on that sales price. It's gonna tell you the units. And then it's gonna give you the contract date and close date. This is another for clarification. Contract date is a date that is executed. So when everything is signed and you have the execution date, that is your contract date. So make sure that you're filling that in. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that it's filled in. And I'm gonna go ahead and save. Now you see that everything is good. I don't have any errors right there. You see that? Right, I'm gonna bring that up here in a minute. There's a way you can edit that, and I'll show you how to do that. So the next one here is payment. This is gonna be the breakdown of your associate royalties, your company commission, and what your check is going to be. So this is a breakdown right now. I do want to point out, as of right now, it does have the standard 30-70 split. If yours for some reason is different, I don't know what everybody's is. I don't care to know. But if yours is something different with agreements to the market center, that will be caught on the commission side. So don't worry about it. Good. If you want to make sure that it doesn't get missed, you can absolutely add it in the notes here. As I will tell you right now, Miss D and Snooki and Trent live and die by those notes. So if you put something in there, they are definitely going to read it. They don't just pass through it. They actually read what's in those notes. Yes, yeah. If you're in PC, you're also PID productivity coaching, yeah. So when you come in here and you do the payments, you can edit the agent payments. Now, when you come in here, you can edit what the unit's going to be. The only way that's going to be different is if you are splitting this with somebody, if you have an admin or something like that, you can absolutely have them all on the CDA. If that's something that interests you, please get with me and I can show you how to do those on Teams, or if you have multiple people on those, I can show you how to break those down to make sure everybody's on there. Right below that, if you are those that like to donate to KW Cares, KW Kids Can, and the Bold Scholarships, you have the option to do it here. Don't worry, if you miss it here, it will remind you at the end. That is a new feature that it pops up and it says, are you sure you don't want to? So if you happen to miss it here, there's another opportunity for you to do that. Right below that is the extra payment options. There's a couple things in here that some of us may use. We have bonus, we have concession, we have deductions, and we have inside and outside referrals. I will tell you right now, there seems to be a discrepancy right now with the inside and outside referrals. If that's something that you are dealing with, please get with me, Snooki, or Miss D, and we will advise you what needs to be done. There is something that we believe may be a error, and we are currently trying to get that fixed. So just to alleviate that, if it's a referral, please let one of us 3 know so that we can let the appropriate people know. Make sense, everybody? Yes, yes. Yeah, if it's a referral, please put in the notes that it is a referral. Once that is confirmed, once everything is done, you can make sure you hit save. Another thing I want to point out is right here where the breakdowns are. I will tell you that they are pretty accurate. There's an asterisk to that. If you're in PC, it does not count the PCs in there because obviously you're putting that in the tabs. But if you're an already capped agent, you're not in PC, these are pretty accurate. I myself are not in PC and not capped, and this is exactly what my numbers are. So I can tell you that it is pretty close, pretty accurate. Last but not least is to make sure that all of your information is correct. On the right-hand side over here, it's going to break down your commission, what's being paid to the office, and how much your check is going to be. Make sure that all that is correct. and you'll hit submit. Now, if you're following along right now and you're just getting used to this, please make sure that you don't hit submit or submit to MC and the compliance side. They already have a lot of us that we are submitting. Most of y'all probably know that we're still going, even with this market the way it is. So we don't want to add any unwanted or unneeded CDA requests or commission requests. Going back to one of the questions that was asked earlier, if for some reason that the close date or anything like that changes, there is new things in here. Now, I'll go back because I want to read this word for word to make sure that I don't misconstrue what is being updated. So again, on this front home screen right here, your notice inside opportunities, these are the ones that it says that is updating. So at the charitable donations modular update, so you can now contribute to KW Kids Can with KW Care as you're checking out to make sure you're submitting for your CDA. Next one says when an offer is accepted, the offer close date will update to the opportunity's details close date and will no longer update estimated close date. So let me clarify that for you. Whenever you hit submit as your CDA, whatever the close date is on there will automatically update the closed date in the details section of opportunities. It will no longer do the estimated. That's what it has been showing for a while. Is if you hit submit, it would do estimated. Once you hit submit, you are done. So make sure that if anything has changed, you will have to get with Ms. D to get those corrected. What I am suggesting is right now, a lot of appraisals are being very crazy. Make sure that you're not submitting for a CDA prior to the appraisals. Does that make sense to everybody? Make sure that you're getting those appraisals back and all the negotiation is done before you start submitting for the CDA. Because I did it myself. I submitted it before we even had the appraisal back, and we had to negotiate $10,000 off the price. So make sure that you're not submitting those CDAs prior to appraisals, because those are the last determining factor unless something crazy goes on after that, which is very rare. So make sure we're doing it after the appraisals. Right below that now, if you do the change response, the button is clicked and the offer is accepted, it's pulled back. The close date field and estimated close dates will be removed. So if you've accepted one of those and now you're changing it to go back to another offer, or you're submitting another offer and going with that one, whenever you hit change the response, it will automatically remove those dates from your details. So if you're catching on, this is doing the work for you. So when you're doing these changes and stuff like that, it's changing those dates for you so you don't have to. Another one here is when a commission is requested to terminate, it will now clear the close dates and opportunities as well. With an accepted offer and open or return statuses, users are now able to edit the close date in the module when clicked on the edit general information link. So another thing, whenever you are in that open status, whenever you click on accepted inside of commissions, whenever you click on that, as long as you haven't submitted it, you're able to change the close date on your manually. That makes sense to everybody? So if you're catching on, we're wanting everything kind of finalized before you hit submit. Does that make sense to everybody? We're not just hitting submit and then going, oh crap, I got the appraisal back and we got to negotiate $10,000 off the price. Because now as of right now, you would have to go to Ms. D. Ms. D would have to change everything and it won't reflect in the command. Does that make sense to everybody? This is to make sure everything just stays clean. And then the last one here, just to round everything up, says the offer close dates will always match what is in commission or vice versa. They will also match the opportunity detail. So anything that happens for that close date, that seems to be one of the biggest things. There was some things that I haven't changed for the close dates. This allows you to change those dates and it does it for you. Make sense to everybody? We got about 10 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions that they would like me to go over or that we didn't go over? Thank you. She was asking about, I brought it up last class. Thank you for reminding me. If you're using, whether you're using .loop or DocuSign, as of right now, you will have to make a loop inside of .loop and label it whatever your name is. So for example, Joshua Beard -CDAs. That right now is the only way for Miss D to get you a CDA to make sure you get paid. If you are doing it in .loop, I'm sorry, in DocuSign, you will not get your CDA unless you have that loop in your .loop. Does that make sense to everybody? If you're already in .loop and you're using .loop, your CDA will still show up in that loop as it has previously. But if you're using DocuSign, it needs to be a loop inside of your .loop that has your name -CDAs, and that is where Miss D and Snooky will drop off your CDAs so that you have those. Any questions on that? Yeah, if you're using .loop, nothing changes for you. Your CDA will be in that loop that it's in. Thank you. I forgot about that. Any other questions? Anybody on Zoom, feel free to unmute.
Will this, the 6 o'clock commissions and compliance, will it be this class recorded or will you be teaching again?
It'll be this class recorded.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. And I'll have this class available after this too, so that you'll be able to watch it. I'm going to make a either a Dropbox or a Google Drive for you to come back and reference these videos so that you can follow along.
I do have a quick question, Josh.
Yes, ma'am.
When it comes to adding your forms, like uploading them into Command, I know we're supposed to do that within 72 hours of having them signed. But do we need to, we don't send them one by one for approval, right? We just upload them one by one and then they get approved as they're entered. Is that how that works?
Correct. Yeah. So as you upload them, whenever you hit submit, whatever is in a placeholder, whatever is in there is what gets sent to her. So basically, the MC side looks just like ours, except they have a button now that says approve and decline. So they'll be able to go through and see that there is something in the IABS spot or that there is something in the general notice spot. And that's how they'll be able to change it. So it's not necessarily sending them just documents. It is literally the exact same thing that we see as far as we see in documents. They just have buttons that they can choose to accept or decline to make sure those pass.
So they say, oh, Amber uploaded a new document. Let me look at it and make sure it meets standards. And then they.
Yep. So the only way they see it is if you hit submit, and then it basically submits that opportunity for them to look at.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. If nobody else has any questions, anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question, Mr. Josh.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a time for next week for one-on-one?
Yeah, we can get together. Just get with me after the class.
All right, thank you.
If anybody else has no more questions, I want to get 5 ahas from today. Okay, I got with you. Yes. Perfect. Make sure that you're opening up these rooms and loops through command. Make sure you're going through opportunity and doing it that way. I know a lot of y'all like Marty Miller, like I do. One of the suggestions he had was that the moment that someone says, hey, Josh, I want to do real estate, they should be in your contacts and you should already make them an opportunity underneath cultivate. That's how you can know that those need to get done, because if they mention they want to do real estate, You open up that opportunity, you can go ahead and open up that loop and you don't have to worry about it. In my dot loop right now, there's about 9 different files of people that have mentioned they want to do dot loop, a real estate, and they're all ready to go. The moment they say, hey, I'm ready, I can start filling out paperwork just by going through opportunities. So as soon as they mention it, make sure you're dropping them into your buyers or listing side. And that way, that's the easiest way for me, muscle memory, to make sure that I'm doing those correctly.
So no more starting. So I don't need to start through dot loop. I start through my command and opportunity.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. You will
Okay.
start everything through command.
Okay.
Side AHA, okay.
That's why all of them are stuff is being tracked
Most of y'all can probably see the screen right here where it says the goals and actuals. So this is my goal that I've set up for 2021. This right here will not update unless I do the opportunities, what I'm supposed to be doing. This will only update then. So if you're trying to figure out why your stuff's not updating, or like she said, not able to track everything, it does it for you. You just have to follow the systems that are there. Let me get 3 more. Kim, give me an AHA.
I
Perfect.
did not know I had to do the opposite.
Mhm.
And I did not know about this whole commission.
Whole commission side, okay.
I thought we were doing it. I mean, I'll do it.
She got double learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as getting paid, there's no more, this green sheets is gone. So remove that from your vocabulary. That's something that we are not using, that we are using commissions. And the only way to get that CDA is you come through command. Let me get one more.
So
Yes, ma'am.
The sync transaction did not sync everything. It didn't like sync dot loop into command. It just syncs changes that you've made within command.
Correct. Yes. So she said the sync button that you click on, if you need to update something from command to dot loop or DocuSign, that's when you use that sync button. And that's what's going to basically sync the information to one another. Perfect. Well, as I said, this video is being recorded. So if you want to come back and watch it at 6 o'clock, you're more than welcome to. I'm also going to have this link set up so that you can watch this at any time, so you can follow along and see if there's anything. If you do have any questions, as usual, you can reach out to me either by text or email, or some of y'all have found me on Facebook and messaging me there. You can do that too. So any way that you can get a hold of me, as far as anything command or tech related, I'm your first line of defense. So anything that you have questions on those, bring those to me. And if I don't know the answer to it, I guarantee you I know somebody that does. So with that being said, thank you all for coming to the class. I'll be hanging out here for a little bit. So if y'all have questions or anything, and other than that, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day, and thank you for coming, Zoom.
Hi, Josh.
you,
Thank
Josh.
you.